He's just going to be so missed.
The pain is still raw for the Metcalf family after 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed on Wednesday morning at a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco.
That dude was extremely smart, always in the box. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Here's what happened according to witnesses and the police report. Metcalf got into an argument with the suspect, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move from under the team's tent.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
Anthony opened his bag and reached inside and said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens."
Austin Metcalf, Karmelo Anthony, just a tragedy, man. Just it breaks my heart, man, being a father. And being a father of young men that were athletes. I want to say that my heart goes out to both families, and I'll explain why. But I wanted to wait and get more information before I did a reaction on this. And I'm speaking from a standpoint of a dad. And the Austin Metcalf family, they lost a son. He's 17 years old, man. A parent's worst nightmare, absolutely worst nightmare. And, I pray for this family, and man, I just hope that, they find peace. I don't know. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, on nobody. No parent wants to outlive their kids, man. Your children should bury you. And as a father, you pray over your kids, man. You want them to have a loving life, a respectful life, a successful life, a blessed life. You want them to be, if you're a religious person, a man of God, a man of respect, a man of the community. We understand there's going to be some missteps in life, but you want them to have a good, long, great life, loving, respectful life. That's what you wish for your kids, man. And I'm sure these parents are no different. You look at Karmelo Anthony. His life could potentially be ruined. It has changed forever. His family's life has changed forever. You have a tragedy on both sides, man. Both families' lives have changed forever. I'm sure what I had mentioned before, Karmelo Anthony's family wanted the same for their boy. They just wanted him to have a great life, man. A loving life, a respectful life, a successful life. Just live a great life. As a parent, that's what you want for your kids. And when I see a lot of this talk on the internet, man, it saddens me really, because I'm a dad. I'm a father, man. So I have no choice but to think of this as a dad, and I wouldn't wish this on anyone, man. And I just wanted to say that. So there's going to be a lot more things that comes out about this. So we are going to be paying attention. Now, this is national news now. A lot of people are talking about it. And once again, I wanted to get and gather as much information as possible before I did a reaction on this. So let's start this from the beginning, man. This is the first video that I saw when this all transpired, man. This horrific, life-changing act for both families, man.
The 17-year-old accused of fatally stabbing a Texas student athlete during a track meet allegedly admitted to the crime. Now, he also asked officers if his actions could be considered self-defense. That is according to a newly released arrest report. On Wednesday morning, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, a junior at Memorial High School in Frisco, Texas, was killed at a track meet. Police said a student from Centennial High School in Frisco, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, stabbed Metcalf in the chest during a fight. Anthony was arrested, now charged with first-degree murder, and is being held in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond. Our Fox 4 Dallas team has been covering all of the information here. Alex Boyer has the latest.
In that 7-page arrest warrant affidavit, several witnesses, including Metcalf's twin brother, describe how that deadly encounter went down. It also revealed that the suspect reportedly admitted to a Frisco police officer that he stabbed Metcalf.
My son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed.
The pain is still raw for the Metcalf family after 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed on Wednesday morning at a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco.
That dude was extremely smart, always in the box. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing with football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Here's what happened according to witnesses and the police report. Metcalf got into an argument with the suspect, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move from under the team's tent.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
Anthony opened his bag and reached inside and said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens." Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was just a tragedy what happened.
That's when Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest once before running away. When Anthony was taken into custody by a Frisco police officer, Anthony reportedly confessed to the crime, saying, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to," adding that, "I was protecting myself," and then asked the police officer, "Is he going to be okay?"
See, this statement right here, is he going to be okay? So he didn't mean to kill him. I don't think he had intentions on killing him. And this is a tragedy, man. And you ever think about your own life, man, how you just feel like, man, something horrible could have happened to me. My life was spared. It's just those decisions that we make, right? And I know these two young men wish that different decisions were made. I know the families wish different decisions were made, because I would like to see Austin Metcalf alive again with his family, and I would love to see Karmelo Anthony with his family, and none of this tragedy has happened, man. This is just unfortunate. Like I said, I'm a father of some young men, and they're athletes too. They both ran track, wrestling, football. We're athletic family. And I never seen anything like this happen at a track meet, man. It does raise some questions on why have a knife at a track meet. I don't know. I don't know what this young man has went through, but I just wish that this didn't happen. I wish that for both of the families. Unfortunately, it did, and both families are changed. Their lives are changed forever, man. I would imagine the Metcalf family. You'll never get over this. This is something you'll never get over. And later on, they had the interview with the father. So
Metcalf died in his brother's arms.
I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well.
This whole community has really wrapped their arms around us, and if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight, because you don't know when the last time you get to do it.
In a statement released by the Metcalf family this afternoon, they say their focus is now on laying Austin to rest. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Anthony remains in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond. Alex Boyer, Fox 4 News.
Alex, thank you so much. Now, our Fox 4 Dallas team, as I mentioned, has been covering all of this from the get-go. They had a one-on-one conversation with Austin's father.
Well, it started with a call from his football coach who was not at the track meet and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, where at? And he said, Kukendall Stadium. I said, I'm on my way. So I drove up there, went through a load of police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney with a huge hole and blood all over him, and they were pumping him. He wasn't breathing, and his eyes were rolled back in his head.
Real quick, I don't know how this man kept it together. So I saw this interview before, and when I initially saw it, man, I'm just like, wow. I was just, it kind of made me tear up, man. Just like, wow, as a dad, because like I said, you can't help but think about this when you have kids, man. You have, young men out there in the world, man. This is a parent's worst nightmare. It is their worst nightmare, man. No parent wants to bury their kid, man. The children should bury the parents. That's the way it should go. Unfortunately, things like this happen in life, and this is horrible, man. I don't see how he kept it together like this. I don't wish this on anyone. No, nobody.
So I had to find his brother. They're twins. And so I found Hunter and tried to get him under control the best we could. And then I loaded him up in my car and we drove to the hospital as quickly as possible. And we waited. And when the doctors came in and said that he didn't make it, it was tough. My son took it extremely hard. Mm-hmm. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that. And maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today. So I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything. God's taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye, this for the last time, I told him it's not goodbye, it's see you later. So I just have to trust in God and my faith to pull us through. I don't understand his plan. We're all subject to trial and tribulations. God didn't say life was going to be fair or wasn't going to be hard, but he said he'll always be beside you and never leave your side. So we're going to lean deep into our faith. There's a vigil tonight at our church at 7 o'clock. I will be attending also. The outpouring of students and coaches and friends and family that showed up at the hospital immediately. It was just shows the way my son touched people's lives. He was voted team MVP of the football team this year. He carried a 4.0. He was on National Honor Society. He's ranked in the top 50 of the state in his position. He's having D1 colleges contact him. He had a great life ahead of him. And to be taken away, it's such a tragedy. I mean, I can't even tell you how I feel because I don't know how I feel. I feel numb at the moment. Yeah. I just hope that this doesn't happen to any other parent and their child. But I do hope for justice. Because this is unacceptable.
And the fact that, someone was immediately taken into custody, they know who did this, they are charging him with murder. I mean, how does that make you feel that police immediately got this person?
First of all, I feel sorry for that individual because he's now made a mistake that's going to cost him the rest of his life. The hard part that cost me is I lost my son, and his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Austin, about, his personality?
Austin was a leader. He led the football team. He was voted team MVP by his players and coaches.
What was his position?
He played linebacker. Him and his brother both play linebacker. He played inside. His brother plays outside. We were so fortunate this past weekend that
You take a look at the dad there. He lights up, man. That's I can remember being a dad like that, lighting up when talking about my kids. You're bragging on your kids, man, because you're proud of them. You want them to be happy, like I said. You want them to have great lives. You're trying to instill in them good work ethic, good values, and you're trying to lead the way. Try to be the best example as you can. And you're fearful of what this world is going to do to them because you witnessed it. Many of us have gone through things where we question, like, man, why am I still here? Been in situations, and as you get older, you like, man, you realize how you realize how naive you were, and how things could have been a lot different. And then you see your kids, and it's like, man, you wanna do things different, you want to do things better, and then you want better for them. So you try to lead by example. Nobody's perfect. Not saying that we are, but you when you're a good parent and a loving parent, you do try to change up a little bit, because you want them to have a great life. You want your kids to have a great life, man.
It's unfortunate for everyone involved, and I just hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. This world, there need to be changes, and it starts at home. So I don't know.
Right.
I'm not judging. I'm just happen to say that try to be kind in this world.
Yes.
And if you can't be kind, find someone who is.
Is there anything else that you want people to know about Austin? You want people to know how he'll be remembered? Is there anything else that you haven't shared?
I mean, it's hard right now. My thoughts are all over the place, to be honest. I mean, there's so many great things about him. I could probably sit here for 3 hours and go on and on and on. But he was a great friend. He was a leader. He was well respected in school by his teammates, by his coaches, by his friends. His girlfriend came up to me and said, you know what? He talked about you a lot, and he loved you, and he treated me with great respect. And he goes, you taught him that, He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity. So he was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud to have 2 sons, not just him, but 2 sons that do the exact same thing. My other son, Hunter's like, Dad, I can't go on because Austin always had my back. I said, I know. And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him, it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place. So you keep an eye on me up there. Put in a good word for me. And we'll meet again.
Wow. Breaks my heart, man. Breaks my heart as a dad. I really, really feel sorry for this family. They lost a son, lost a brother. He died in his twin brother's arms. I mean, this story, man, has just, wow. A lot of people have an opinion about what happened. So,
the father of killed teenager Austin Metcalf showed up to a press conference by Karmelo Anthony's family. After police talked to the father, he left, and the press conference by the president of the Next Generation Action Network started like this.
What we seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, these are my words. Don't quote anybody. Is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day. It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to. We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to. He should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had, Daniel Pena, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was. He should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Kyle Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything. The reason why the family or me or anybody with direct knowledge of this cannot talk about the particulars of what happened in that tent. I know you know this is all law. It's because if anybody tell you there was an adult near or inside or whatever, this current investigation knows nothing about that. Everybody involved at this point of our knowledge are minors. In the state of Texas, you know we cannot release or talk about minors. So stop asking us the question. Stop. It's no. We can't even do it if we wanted to. Even in the bond hearing, you didn't see a single thing said about people that was indirect. They're minors. Okay? So stop. The social media, stop.
I have to interject because this is simply not true. Karmelo Anthony's cousin has laid out exactly what they claim happened on Facebook.
We can't talk about it. So if you ask me, I'm just going to look at you, okay? So I'm telling the world. Everybody know the state law. I'm not creating it. We can't talk about it. This family can't talk about it.
Except for right here on Facebook. It's right here. Look at it.
Our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. I believe in legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. We were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made.
This is not just about Karmelo. It's about the family who dared to stand and demand justice in a return and receive ugliness that racism in this country still breeds.
So you see the Karmelo Anthony family had a press conference, and Austin Metcalf's father showed up. Now, I wanted to show the previous video of Austin Metcalf's father because it shows that he's a man of faith. He forgave his son's killer, but at the same time he wanted justice. Now he shows up at the Karmelo Anthony press conference. I don't believe he had. I don't think he had any malice or ill intent for them. I really think that this man is trying to come together as as two families, man, and hopefully as a community, right? I just don't think that he had any bad intentions. But you know, the attorney thought different, and whether he should have showed up at this press conference or not, I guess it all is subjective, right? It all depends on your point of view. Maybe it was a bad idea, but I don't believe he had any bad intentions behind it. So that I just wanted to make that clear. So let's go to see this next video. I don't agree with this one. We got I don't know who this gentleman is, but just going off of off of the internet, they're saying he's a family friend or family member. I don't know, but profiting profiting off of this horrific situation just does not seem like a good idea to me or anybody I've had a conversation with about this case. But yeah, they're selling T-shirts. Take a look.
And you know what it is. Tweet ain't tapping in. Anybody who fuck with me, fuck with my music, you gotta fuck with Karmelo Anthony, man. Just for my dog. Website coming soon. You gotta tap in, man.
Okay. I think this is a bad look. I think it's a bad look. I know that the family has had donations from the public, and they've raised roughly $500,000 or whatever the case is. I mean, the young man has to go to court, and if people feel like they need to give to this young man for his defense, so be it. Okay. I just don't like some of the comments that are made, and people are being very, very evil about this situation, man. Just remember, a family lost their son. Okay. He is gone. This family here could potentially lose their son to prison. Just looking at the information that's been provided, it's going to be rough on this family. I think this young man has a rough road ahead of him, man. Personally, this could have been handled different, and I'm sure that given another chance, if we could rewind it, they would handle it different. I would love to see the Metcalf boy walk away. I would love to see the Karmelo Anthony young man just say, "Okay, I'll leave, no problem." And they just go about their lives, man, and live great lives. And both lives are one's gone and the other's ruined. And both families will never, ever be the same. But this right here, to me, is not a good look, man. You shouldn't profit off this situation. But let's get to the next video. This brother right here speaks a lot of truth, man, and I've felt the same way since a young man, man. I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. I grew up in the hood, man. We were all struggling financially. Everybody was poor, and it was 90% black, and the other 10%, and I've said this before, is a sprinkle of Latino, Asian, and one white family that lived in the neighborhood I grew up predominantly in. As a youth. So let's take a look, man. This next video here. I agree with probably everything this brother's got to say. Hear him out.
I want y'all to listen to me closely. Try your best to hear everything I'm saying right now. Please. The black community is done. We're done. This is it. This shows the whole country exactly what I've been saying. The devil got them. They're gone. Bye. Why does it take for us to do something bad to get support? Like, we got to do some of the most hideous, heinous stuff for our own people to back us up. What sense does that make? This young man just did something that I know he regret. But before he did this, he was actually an athlete that was very fast and probably going places. Had zero support. We didn't even know who he was. This is just facts. But he goes off, makes a very bad decision, unalived the guy, and now the black community has raised over $400,000 for him. $400,000, man, because he did something bad. Wow. When the band members at Valley State University in Mississippi needed help to get to the inauguration, mind you, these are kids who are just trying to do something good to showcase their talents. This is a HBCU, majority black people they got from the community. Instead, they got slandered. But they're innocent. No support. Rapper Lil Durk can make all of this pew-pew music, this unaliving music. He gets caught up for his wrongdoings, and we're screaming, free him. Big Meech did so much to destroy the black community before he went to the feds. And when he get out, everybody's celebrating as if he was putting people through school and, making sure people's, tuitions were paid for. We champion him. We champion all of the bad apples. We champion them. Like, black people are not dumb. We're not stupid. But for some reason, we feel as though bad is good. This is what? Are y'all serious right now? What? Charleston White is the biggest example of this. He was humble in his start, a community activist, showing up to city council meetings, trying to do what he can to empower the youth in Fort Worth. Never got any support whatsoever. Wasn't cursing, wasn't saying an N-word, wasn't doing none of this. Flip the script for Charleston White. Now he's one of the most foul-mouthed, against this, against that, and now he's wealthy because of it. He was a good guy, nothing. He turned bad, now look at him. Huh? I'm saying all that to say this. God is needed. The word of God is needed. There's a lot of these so-called Christians who are blacker than their love for Christ. They rather sit up there and tell you that they down for the culture than telling you they down for what's right and what's righteous. And now the hypocrites are coming out of the woodworks. We can see them. Separate yourself from them. Separate yourself from them. That's what's destroying this country right now. The wrongdoers, the doers of iniquities, and they are exposing themselves. But child can't even see it because you don't have a relationship with the Father. Instead, you want to join with it because you think it's cool. I can't stand this, man, because this makes us look so bad as a people, bro. Like, I ain't the only one see this. What? My prayers for little Karmelo in Austin, this family, because they don't get a chance to see him anymore. Anthony got out. His family still gonna get to see him. Unfortunately, these are two kids, and their families' lives will change forever.
Yep.
There's no winner in this.
Facts.
No winner whatsoever, bro. The devil won. And you got people that want to continue to see the devil win. And unfortunately for me, it's a lot of people look like me. Man, we got to do better, man.
We got to do better, man. That's what he said. I agree with him. And I can speak on this because I come from the community, man. We have a propensity for violence. I was part of that. I can't lie. I fed into all of that, man. Just the ugly side, man. We won't go too deep into that, but I just know that propensity for violence, propensity for confrontation, it's championed, right? It's bragged about. You fight somebody, beat somebody up, jump on somebody, it's bragged about. I mean, it's almost like it was a motion picture. Like, oh man, I did this, that, da-da-da, and everyone gets all excited and crazy about it, right? Brothers go to prison for murder, drugs, whatever the case is, gang banging, come home. This dude is treated like king of the world. Other brothers go to school, try to do something with their lives or whatever. Oh, you're trying to be white. You're trying to sound white. You're trying to this and that, whatever is discouraged. So you wonder why a lot of black people move out of the community, because maybe we don't want the violence. Maybe we want some peace in our lives, man. And there is a lot of black people who feel that way. Maybe they're afraid to say it because you're an outcast. If you ain't standing on business, it's some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life. It makes you not want to go to certain places. It makes you not want to hang out with certain people, that you grew up with, because for whatever reason, you grew out of that mentality and they're still in it. They're still in the gang mentality. They're still in the, oh man, no one's going to do nothing to me. That are looking for problems, looking for violence. This young man here, I don't know what he went through I don't know, what type of upbringing he had. I have no idea, man. I wish that there was a different outcome here. I wish he never pulled out the knife. I wish Austin Metcalf never, said anything to him. It doesn't give, from the information that I'm seeing, it doesn't give him the right to unalive him. That to me is sad, man. It is horrible. It's happened. So now we're talking about it, and these families have to deal with it, man. They have to deal with it forever. And there's some people that's going to be insensitive about this whole thing. They're going to sit up here and make it seem like this young man over here deserved it. This young man didn't deserve to die. This is ridiculous for people to even say this, man. Now, I don't have all the information. I don't know what happened, but from what has been gathered and out of the young man's mouth, Karmelo Anthony, he asked a police officer, is he going to be okay? I think he already regretted stabbing him. I don't believe he meant to kill him, but he did. And it's tragedy, man. It's horrible. It breaks my heart, man. As a dad, it breaks my heart. Some of us have been in bad situations, man, because we grew up in neighborhoods, man, that were marginalized neighborhoods that lacked resources. People didn't have money. You don't have money and resources, you become desperate. And then certain people want to live up to certain stereotypes, man. And they think that they got to have this bravado about themselves, man, and be violent and be a tough guy, whatever. Look, man, some of us just want peace. We just want to have a good life. We want to have good neighbors. We want to be able to talk to our neighbors. We don't want to have to always walk around looking over our shoulders, right? Because the hood takes you under. It does, man. And me and my peoples, we moved out of it, man. Because when you get outside and you see the world and you start dealing with other people, you start to see, man, that they try to divide us. They try to divide us. They don't want us liking each other, man. They want to keep that mentality and that excuse. Oh, well, you know what? Slavery, this is why the white man deserves it. No. None of us here were slaves. Maybe our ancestors. None of us here were slaves. None of us here are slave owners, man. We as individuals, man, we have to get better. We got to get better and move on. People want to be stuck on race. They definitely want to be stuck on race because it gives you a great excuse to do whatever horrible things you want to do, man. And I'm not saying that this young man did it because of race. I'm just talking about people that are commenting on this. They're going to comment on this and they're going to use race as their weapon. Oh, well, he deserved it. This young man didn't deserve it. Neither one of these young men deserved this path, man. I wish it would be different. I really do. It bothers me, man. So let's take a look, man. Take a look at this next video. Cuomo, he's got, I think, a couple of attorneys that want to chime in. They want to chime in on this.
All right, so Anthony was being held on $1 million bond, which was crazy. Today, they reduced it to $250,000, which is, still sizable, but he wound up getting out. All right, so Mark, first of all, the idea of race, you lived it with Zimmerman in a big way. There's so many people who believe that that's why Zimmerman wound up beating that case. But what do you see here? What are your questions? What will matter?
Oh, no, it's definitely a consideration. It always is, whether it's a sort of obvious what we're doing or the implicit one, because we all carry these implicit biases with us that perceive or impact how we perceive an event. Now, what's really it's going to come down to, and I disagree with the guy who said this is not a self-defense case yesterday. I think he said it. This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor. Was it an aggressive act for him to go up and say, get away from the tent? Did he do more than that? My understanding was maybe he touched him and put hands on him. Granted, that makes the decedent in this case maybe the initial aggressor. But you really still then have to look at whether or not Karmelo Anthony responded with appropriate force, he used a deadly weapon, and whether or not he was in imminent fear of great bodily injury. That's the standard in Texas and most every state to determine whether or not his actions the way he perceived him, the way Karmelo Anthony perceived him when he took out that knife and stabbed him. The good part is if the decedent was the aggressor initially. The bad part for Karmelo, if in fact it's true that he sort of said, touch me and you'll see, because that's that aggression, that's that predisposition towards violence that doesn't have a place in a true self-defense case.
What's the most important question for you in this, Mark? And then I want the same from you, Professor, if you have one. Go ahead, Mark.
Sure. Who truly was the initial aggressor? How did this unfold such that if in fact he had a reason to believe great bodily injury was imminent, was it reasonable? Was he pushed? Was he shoved? Was he hit? Because don't forget, it's the moment, but you are allowed to respond to great deadly force with your own great deadly force, or at least your perception of great deadly force. So it's really going to be fact-based. I do think that race, it's going to be played out on social media. It also is going to be played out in a courtroom if you ever get there, because in today's day and age, I would argue that someone like Karmelo Anthony now has a heightened concern over the past few years and the way we've sort of degraded some of the progress we may have thought we made over the past decade, as far as how we're treating young black males in the system, such that maybe he would have felt more preyed upon than he otherwise would. Interesting. You're right. We're going to be talking about this for a long time.
Professor, what do you got?
Oh, I'm
Professor?
sorry.
Yeah, Professor.
This is all about who the jury is. This will all be determined by the jury. If the racial factors were reversed, if a white man had killed an unarmed black man, everybody would be on the reverse side of this. We live in a society where everything is judged by race. You know, the Bible says to judges and prosecutors, don't recognize people, just do abstract justice. We're way, way, way beyond that. If the racial elements were reversed there, virtually all the people who are calling for him to be acquitted would be calling for him to be convicted, and vice versa. Let's not kid ourselves. We live in a race-conscious society, and jury selection, which, of course, your other guest is so brilliant at and did so well in the Zimmerman case, is determine the outcome of this case, without a doubt.
For me, it's as simple as, how do they feel about this proposition? Bringing a knife to a fist fight. Right. Mark O'Mara, we'll see what happens. Alan Dershowitz, thank you very much.
You know, I think he makes a great point, man. How do they feel about someone bringing a knife to a fist fight? Yeah. And the one gentleman was saying that if the roles were reversed, the people that are on Karmelo Anthony's side, they would flip. They would be upset that he got killed. And your argument would be, hey, you know what? He was an innocent young man. What happened to him was not justified. It should have never been stabbed in his heart. Da, da, da. Keep that in mind. If it was Karmelo Anthony who was killed, this is how you would feel. But I know in this country, people feel is justified because of the history of this country. They think that anything that happens to someone that is white by the hands of someone who's black or a minority is justified because of things that happen in our history. And for me, that's a flawed way of thinking. This right here is a tragedy, man. 2 young men, 2 families have been affected, and they have been changed forever. You know, the Metcalf family, initially, they had interviewed the father, and, you know, he has a strong faith. You know, his religious belief is, he feels his religious belief is going to get him through this. And, you know, the wife, she was different in her interview. She was very upset. I don't blame her. The brother, the twin brother, his brother died in his arms. I don't blame him. I know everyone's not going to forgive. Something tragic happens to your family. I get it. This whole situation is man, it's really bad. And I just think that people can be very insensitive, man. I think they could be very insensitive. It's tragedy. I wish that it never happened.